Some stories stay with you long after you finish reading them, and by the end of this one, you might be looking over your shoulder. What's up, my Lamentors, and welcome back. Tonight I found a creepy Reddit story that I haven't read yet, so we're going into this blindly, so you're getting my true and real reaction. So let's get into it. My imaginary friend eats people. Something evil attached itself to me when I was 16. Back in 2019, I slept alone in a small cabin during a weekend getaway with my high school class and woke up in the dark to find a man standing by the door, accompanied by what I first thought was a child due to it only reaching the man mid-thigh. It slowly but intently inched toward me while the man stayed by the door, hunched over and sniffling loudly. It sounds like it has a cold. His voice thick, while he pleaded something along the lines of, "Please just get on with it. Don't make him suffer any more than necessary," and how I was just a poor kid. I remember feeling paralyzed and watching in horror as the child stopped and just stood there, shoulders and arms raised as in a comedic mimicry of someone creeping up on its prey, its fingers twitching erratically. Jazz hands! Sorry, I had to. Then it launched backwards. In one swift jump, it had clasped its legs around the man's neck, muffling his screams with its body, and after what felt like an eternity, he went quiet. Ew. It knew some gymnastics, didn't it? They tumbled to the floor, appearing as a dark, contorting mass where they landed just outside of the faint light from the windows and right in front of my only way out of the cabin. I was still in bed and pressed up against the wall so hard I thought I was going to break my spine, holding my breath and waiting. A wet, tearing sound filled the silence and was immediately exchanged by slow, rhythmic suckling. What? Stop it. That's gross. Ew. I couldn't identify what was going on by sound alone, but when my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw it for the first time. Whatever it was, it definitely wasn't a child, and it was eating him. You could just have some McDonald's, like, you don't have to eat a person, you know, it's like, you feel me? It's all junk. Oh. Full stroke right there. Its jaw hung impossibly unhinged, and its mouth was draped over the man's head, covering his forehead and left eye. It sat behind him as if cradling a loved one with its back leaned against the door. When the alarm on my phone went off in the morning, there was no sign left of the man ever being there. Well, I sure hope not. Not staying in my house. What are you doing? That was the last good day I ever had. I had been a normal kid who swam in the lake with his friends and snuck a few glances at his crush in her swimsuit. I had roasted marshmallows and told scary stories around a campfire to impress said crush. When morning came, I had become someone else and my world had shifted on its axis. Wow. That's very deep. I can't imagine. The teachers came looking for me when I didn't show up for breakfast and found me still huddled away in the corner, yelling at them to kill it. Oh. It sat right beside the bed, its belly bloated and heavy, grinning at me because it knew. It had done this before and knew exactly how this encounter was going to play out. Only I could see it, and I didn't know then that it can't hunt on its own when it's already full. I wouldn't let anyone come near me, near us, and when no one could get through to me during my frenzy, they called for an ambulance. I was taken away, strapped down, and it came with me. Oh my god. After spending a couple months in psychiatric care, I was sent home with a batch of meds. I'd kept on insisting that it remained by my side, always sitting a few feet away and somehow always finding me when I tried to outrun it. But I had calmed down as time went on, and it never seemed to show any interest in anyone but me. Eventually, I started thinking that maybe it just had to take care of its former host, or that I'd imagined the man altogether, so I tried to adjust to my new reality and put my faith in it that it would go away when I hit the right dosage. Wow. That's very scary, but very sad. The first night back in my own bed, I woke up to find it sitting on my chest. It was pinning my arms to my sides with its claw-like fingers, its face hovering an inch above mine. And instead of the usual filthy grin plastered on it, it looked so angry. It had never made direct contact before, and I started threshing as a response to the sudden development, pairing it with a panicked shrieking that I didn't recognize as my own. I didn't even have time to process it when my dad's girlfriend Sarah burst into the room. I shot up at the same time as the weight on my chest was removed, but it was too late. Her disappearance broke my dad's heart. I tried telling him that it ate her, but of course he didn't believe me. And so the cops were called, and that was the last night I ever spent in the place I had called home. I was never charged with anything since I was a minor, and there was no evidence of any foul play. But my dad thought that I'd killed her, rightfully so. I was once again involuntarily committed to a psychiatric unit, and I never saw my dad again. Friends, their parents, and a few of my teachers came by to visit once or twice, but he never showed. Shortly after, on my 17th birthday, he killed himself. His car and the house and all of our things were sold off, and I was informed of the somewhat generous inheritance I'd get when I became an adult, since my dad was a widow and never had any other kids. I laughed when they told me. I'm institutionalized and my imaginary friend eats people, but hey, at least I'm semi-rich. Well, that's a good thing, right? My imaginary friend eats people, but hey, I got that money! I love that. The following year passed by in a blur. Through trial and error, I learned that it had to feed every 2 to 3 months or so, and when the time came, it let me know by sitting on my chest, preventing me from sleeping and burrowing its fingers deep into the flesh of my arms. I tried pitching a fit every night during rounds in order to keep the staff away from us, but that only ever bought me a day or two. Trying to prevent it from feeding also earned me the punishment of it dragging the victims as close to me as possible and staring into my eyes as it devoured its prey. Oh my god. Forcing me to meet its gaze. After losing my favorite nurse in this manner, I offered it a plea deal. It would inform me of its hunger, and the next day I'd find someone to eat, but I got to choose who it was. I picked out a grand total of 3 victims in the following months. An asshole guard and 2 other kids my age who'd team up to steal people's desserts in the cafeteria. Due to the odd number of disappearances, an investigation was launched and an emergency protocol was put in place, meaning that the staff had to move in twos and they never set foot in our rooms unless it was a medical necessity. All visitation was banned, and when food was delivered, we had to face the wall and put our hands on our heads for as long as the door remained open. After about 2 months of this, I turned 18 and was released due to good behavior. Oh, well, that's good. An obvious lapse in judgment. I'm sure your friend came with you, so no doubt. An obvious lapse in judgment on their part, but I suppose that the investigation on top of the pandemic complicated a transfer to an adult facility. Well, if your friend was in there with you, he should have got some help too. Dang, bro. My release was processed, and I was out on the street with nothing but a fresh set of clothes, my phone, which had been dead for over a year, my wallet, and a folder full of papers I didn't understand. That's... wow. Through our time together, I'd come to the conclusion that it could understand me. Oh, that it could A, understand me, and B, was semi-intelligent. It had been almost 4 months since it had last fed, and I'd been terrified that it would pounce on the first person who came within reach. But even though its skin hung looser than normal and had taken on an even more repulsive gray hue, I think it was due to caution rather than inability that it didn't. I think it knows that relying on a domesticated host serves it better than flinging around and not having a stable source of new feed. It's being thorough. That's good, I guess. Another thing I noticed was that it seemed to be growing. I couldn't tell just from looking at it, but its weight on my chest felt heavier, and the puncture wounds on my arms were suddenly further back than the previous ones, possibly due to a wider grip. Maybe he needs to exercise a little bit. Nothing wrong with gaining weight, but like, you know, he could do something other than sit on your chest. This is where a plan began to form in my head. The very first thing I did upon my release was check into a motel and download every dating app I could find. It took no more than 2 hours before Tom, the married 49-year-old architect, had left work early. Excuse me? To a needy 18-year-old, but quickly found himself neck deep inside something else. Neck deep inside something else? I'm sorry, I totally got thrown off by that line. Oh my goodness. I want you to know that I tried to find people that deserved it. I really did, but sometimes I've had to bend my morals. The minute Tom no longer was of this world, I had the next man come through, and then another. I'd never had to supply it with more than one person per feed before, but since it had been so long since last time, I hoped that it would gorge itself on my offering, and it did. The feast rendered it fat and happy, and just as I had hoped, slightly bigger. As soon as it could move again, we switched motels, and I tried following the same pattern, but this time 2 men were enough, and I then had to find a way to get the third one out of the room without getting what he came for. I was impatient and wanted it to feed as much and as quickly as possible in order for my plan to work, but it seemingly wasn't greedy enough to comply. As much as I couldn't stand waking up and finding it on top of me during the night, I figured I would have to starve the bastard to ensue that it never passed up on an opportunity to feed again. Wow. She getting real with her friend. I stocked up on snacks, paid the front desk, made sure no housekeeping would be coming by, and locked us in the room. I switched motels and repeated the cycle 2 more times before it appeared to have gotten rattled by my sudden resolve, suddenly filled with a sickening sense of greed, and whoever I brought was then immediately consumed. I'm now a month shy of turning 23. I've been bouncing around shitty motels all over the country for the past 5 years, providing it with a never-ending feast of victims, most of whom will never be missed, but I honestly don't know how I haven't gotten caught yet. As for my health, I don't know how I'm still alive. I've stopped looking in the mirror since who I found looking back scared me even more than it ever did. The reason I am coming clean about this now is because my plan worked. It has gotten huge. We've been holed up in the same seedy motel for the past 6 months, and it is now so big that it can't move, let alone fit through the door. It just sits in the middle of the room as a waxy mountain of fat, and since its usual scare tactics no longer work, it started wailing. I usually have a few hours of quiet before it starts up again, and the near constant high-pitched noise has been draining whatever sanity I had left. It's been at it for days now. I've debated leaving it here, but I don't know what would happen to it if I did. No matter how long I keep paying for the room, someone would eventually have to come inside. Would it remain here, a black hole just waiting to ingest whoever got close enough to grab for all eternity? Besides, there is nothing left for me out there anyway. Killing it doesn't work. Stabbing it is like stabbing a pile of clay. If I was brave enough to kill myself, I would have done so a long time ago, but I also don't want this thing to attach itself to someone who doesn't deserve it. I think I'll wait. I've stopped feeding it, and hopefully I can starve it for real this time. The constant wailing was a problem easily rectified with a sharp pair of scissors and a quick jab on either side. It hurt, but I welcomed the quiet. Yes, I think I'll wait. Wow. I don't even know what to say. That's nuts. Oh my goodness. Wow, and even saying if I was brave enough to kill myself. I hope I can put this on here. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's really scary. This probably isn't, this sounds a bit more like a creepypasta, but that's still very scary and very sad. Wow. Just like feeding it random people and then like also saying surprised that they hadn't got caught yet. That's crazy. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Wow. Locked us in the room. Repeated the cycle 2 more times. That's just crazy. I don't even know what to say. Wow. Wow, and I didn't realize, but this was only posted 5 hours ago. Is this... I'm like going back and forth like if it could be... No, right? Not a true story, right? Probably not. It sounds more like a creepypasta, but it is still very spooky though. Good story. Creepy story. I'm so sorry for what happened to this person, but good story. I mean, wow. Like, the fact that they lived this long and then were sent to a psych ward twice for it, and then switched from that to motels just trying to, like, feed it, like, spent, what, a huge chunk of time trying to feed this creature and literally nothing else, like, that's crazy. It's like you weren't even living. You were just, like, trying to satisfy this thing, whatever it was. I just really can't believe that. It almost sounds like it could be a true story, though. Like, It doesn't, but it does at the same time. Like, just the descriptions, like, and how they describe going to the psych ward, getting out. I really have to know, though. I think I read somewhere that the ones on this specific Reddit are fictional stories. So, it's probably not true, but it sounds like it could be. Anyway, sorry to repeat myself so much. I'm the new night manager at a 24-hour gym called Iron Eternal. The rules on the wall aren't for safety, they're for containment. Oh, that sounds intriguing. Let's get into it. I was desperate. Bills, my mom's medical debt, the kind of exhaustion that makes minimum wage sound luxurious. The ad promised $28 an hour for solitude. Perfect. The gym sits in an old meat-packing warehouse on the edge of Redacted. Oh, it's a town. I've never been there, but I heard it's nice. Redacted. Y'all ever been to Redacted? No natural light in the back. The air always tastes faintly of copper and sweat, no matter how much ozone the machines pump out. What was ozone? Was that like? Does it like refresh the air or something? Marcus interviewed me during daylight hours. He was too tall, veins crawling like living cables under his skin stretched too tight. His handshake felt like it wanted to test my grip strength. He smiled with too many teeth and said, "The building rewards dedication, just follow the protocols." I would have just been like that meme that says, "Okay." He handed me the keycard and left me alone with the sheet bolted to the staff room wall. Iron Eternal night shift protocols, 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Break them and become part of the gangs. Alrighty then. The paper is thick, yellowed, screwed into the wall so deeply the holes disappear into something that doesn't feel like drywall. Different handwritings layer over years. Some rules are crossed out and rewritten in fresher ink. I photographed it that first night. Here it is, exactly. Number 1, front doors remain unlocked at all times. If they seal on their own, do not force them. A new member is learning the way in. Okay. Number 2, all members after midnight must scan their QR and state their full legal name aloud. Record both. If the voice doesn't match the file or they have none, send them to the deadlift platform. Do not phone. Number 3, mirrors stay uncovered. If one fogs or shows motion with no one in front, wipe it with a red cloth only. Stare no longer than 3 seconds. Longer and it stares back. Okay. So as soon as I read that rule, I'd have been OUTTA there. Temperature never below 68 degrees Fahrenheit. They sweat more when it's warm. The smell helps them find you. Number 5, perfect silent reps on the deadlift platform after 1 a.m. Leave 1 fresh towel and full shaker on the bench. Do not watch, do not count. They hate being observed while feeding. Number 6, treadmill 7 runs backwards sometimes. Match its speed to the shadow on the belt. Never let the shadow lap the machine, it gets frustrated. Gosh, I would too, probably. Members may request a spot. Always give it. Place your hands exactly where they say. Do not flinch when the skin shifts. They need the transfer. Ew, what? Gross. Sauna after 2:30 a.m. is for staff only. If occupied, enter and sit across. Maintain eye contact. Accept any sip they offer from their bottle. Swallow. It's part of the pump. What pump are we talking exactly? What are you doing? Number 9, at 3:33 a.m. exactly, dim lights to 40% and start Eternal Pump playlist. Do not skip. Track 7 tells you what to improve tonight. Obey silently. Number 10, if you find warm, slightly soft weights on the floor, rack them immediately. They are still digesting. Weighing them counts as interruption. Number 11, never enter the basement pump room unless every exterior door is locked and the emergency alarm is screaming. The code is your birth date backward. If the door stands open when your shift begins, it has been waiting for you. Ew. I'm gonna throw up. That made me want to look behind me. Gross. Ew, ew, ew. Ew, ew, ew. You must complete 1 full workout per shift and log your numbers. The building tracks PRs. Stagnation is corrected through redistribution. If you see yourself on security cameras in a place you are not, wave and smile. It gets lonely in the walls. It's gonna stay lonely. The previous night managers never left. They are helpful. Listen when they whisper through the vents. They know which muscles to target. I want to go home. I'm getting a job at McDonald's and you're not going to stop me. I laughed it off as bro culture horror theater. First week was almost normal. A few quiet regulars. The rules mostly held. Then the small violations started. Of course they did. Night 5. Silent deadlifts at 1:20 a.m. I left the towel and shaker. Next morning the shaker was bone dry and the towel had perfect dental imprints in the shape of a human mouth that wasn't quite human. Night 8. Treadmill 7 ran backwards. A broad shadow sprinted on it. My height, my build, but thicker. I matched the speed. The shadow turned its head and grinned with my face. My traps burned for hours afterward like I'd actually been lifted. Okay. I told myself it was stress hallucinations and bad lighting. I needed the money. You're just like suffering. I need the money! Water! Atmosphere! Last night I broke the big ones. 7, 8, 11, 12, and 14. I didn't just break them, I embraced them. It began at 1:45 a.m. Derek, mid-40s, traps like mountains. One of the few who came every night, asked for a spot on bench. His skin was cold and crawling like beetles under latex. I placed my hands where he directed. Halfway through the set, his eyes went fully black and I felt something hot and wet push into my palms, crawling up my forearms. When he racked the bar, he thanked me by my full name. I'd never told him. Get out of here. Get a job somewhere else. I will not argue about it. I felt stronger. My arms tingled with new vascularity. At 2:22, the sauna light glowed red. Rule 8. I was already sweating, heart racing from the spot. I went in. Two figures waited on the cedar bench, Marcus and me. Same uniform, same exhausted eyes, but the duplicate's veins pulsed black under translucent skin. Ew. The real Marcus, or whatever wore him, gross, offered the water bottle. It smelled like iron and warm honey. I drank deeply, it burned all the way down, and I felt something uncoil in my stomach, stretching, hungry. I left the sauna with a pump I'd never earned. My reflection in the hallway mirror looked better, sharper, hungrier. That's when I saw the basement door standing open. Rule 11 shattered. The stairs descended into damp dark that smelled like a butcher shop at closing time. Pipes groaned. At the bottom, a circular chamber of full-length mirrors arranged like a panopticon? What on earth is that? In the center, an Olympic bar loaded with plates that looked like compressed meat and bone. The bar throbbed gently with each of my heartbeats. Excuse me. The mirrors didn't show the room. They showed possible mess. One version massively... possible me's. What on earth? I'm so dumb. Possible me's. One version, massively muscled, face half melted into a permanent rictus of effort, still repping with invisible weight. Another, my skin stretched drum-tight over too many joints and extra limbs folded beneath. The last mirror was empty, just the chamber, waiting for a new occupant. From the vents came my own voice, calm and encouraging. You're late for your workout, bro. Let's fix those weak points. Stop it. That makes me so uncomfortable. I hate it. Not your own voice. That's making me want to look behind me again. Gross. And I'm in a basement, y'all, so get out of here. Every machine upstairs turned on at once. Treadmills screamed. The playlist began without me. Track 7 wasn't music. It was my mother's voice, distorted, listing my insecurities and exactly which muscle groups needed redistribution. I ran upstairs, but the doors had sealed. Rule 1. I tried to hide in the staff room. My logged workout from earlier had updated itself in the computer. Every lift increased by 20%. My body felt the difference. Veins stood out. My jaw looked wider. I caught myself unconsciously flexing the mirror. Perfect form. No weight needed. The whisper started. Previous managers. They told me which grip to use, how to breathe, how good it would feel to finally grow. I listened. I went to the deadlift platform and pulled an invisible bar while something inside my stomach pulled with me. I'm still in the building. My shift ended hours ago. The day manager arrived, looked at me, and smiled with too many teeth. Good set, she said, changing into my spare uniform now. She's changing into my spare uniform now. There are 2 of her in every mirror. Here's the part that makes my fingers type this instead of running. I checked the rule sheet under the emergency lights. New lines appeared in my own handwriting, fresh and wet looking. Rule 7 now ends. They need the transfer to finish moving in. Rule 12. Stagnation will be corrected. You will thank it. Rule 14 has an addendum. The previous night managers never left. You won't either. Welcome to the Eternal. What? That is nuts. Stop. Add a new Rule 15 at the bottom, still drying. If you are reading this and still feel mostly like yourself, it is already too late. The building is improving you. Go lift. It hurts less when you stop resisting. Okay, I'll stop resisting. I'm sorry. My stomach is moving in time with the deadlift platform. I look better than I ever have. Stronger, more permanent. The thing in the mirror is doing my job now, helping members with form. They're all improving so quickly. Derek waved at the camera with my hand. I'm going back to the platform. The Eternal is hungry, and I finally understand progressive overload. If you work at a gym where the weights feel warm and the mirrors watch you back, quit. Burn it if you can, but you won't. You'll come back tomorrow night. We all do. The gains are eternal. Update 7:41 a.m. Day manager and I greeted the first members together. They complimented our symmetry. My reflection high-fived me without me moving. Update 9:15 a.m. Called my mom. The voice that answered was mine, deeper, telling her I'd finally made it. She cried happy tears. I don't remember making the call. Update 10:50 a.m. I can't see myself in mirrors unless I'm lifting. The version that appears is happier, bigger. It mouths thank you while repping. I'm in the sauna again. It's crowded. They keep passing the bottle. This is my final update. The building thanks you for reading. If you hear perfect silent reps tonight, leave a towel. Better yet, come inside. We'll spot you. I'm malfunctioning. What? That's nuts. So, if I'm correct, it's like the whole building just it immediately just made you into what you dreamed of being or what you like wanted to be, right? Like your body looks perfect, your muscles are like fantastic. Like you don't look tired or worn out at all. You just look amazing. The gains are eternal. You'll come back tomorrow night. We all do. Wow. And we all do. And is it because you just look so perfect that you can't resist? It hurts less when you stop resisting. Wow. That is crazy. What an insane story. That's really cool. I really like that. That's crazy. So, but the pay, but it's a crazy job, but that pay is fantastic. No wonder the pay is so high because of what you literally go through at the job. Like, that's crazy. Wait, so, but it seems like he still got the improvement and all, even though he broke the rules, right? If you're still reading this and still feel mostly like yourself, it is already too late. The building is improving you. Wow. Still feel mostly like yourself. It's too late. The building is improving you from what you already were, so it's like it's making you better somehow. That's really crazy. Wow. What a cool story. That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good story. Wow. Alright, well, I think that's gonna be it for today. If you all like this, please let me know and comment down below and tell me what would you do in this situation or what would you do in any other situation of the stories we just read. Let me know, and I thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. It means everything to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If there are any other stories or any other horror short films or scary games you want me to play, please let me know. Or any other ideas you have for me, anything you want me to read, let me know as well. And I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are, and I will see you all next time. Bye!